into my segment, which is going to, this time it's going to be addressing a couple of emails that I received from viewers. One of them was from Night Spirit. So Night Spirit, if you're watching, you did receive my email telling you that I was going to address it today. Night Spirit wrote, okay, I have met someone who is part of the lifestyle and really enjoyed swing parties. I have an issue with keeping a hard on and have found this to be an embarrassment. I want to attend parties with my other half so I can share in her enjoyment as well. What suggestions would you have for someone like me at a party? Well, first of all, Night Spirit, thank you so much for reaching out to us. That's part of the reason for this show, so we can educate and correct. The first thing you need to do is make sure that it is not a medical condition that you're dealing with, okay? Because that might alleviate a lot of shit right there. If it's not medical, then you're probably putting way too much pressure on yourself to perform at a party. It should be a fun and a social gathering as well as a fuck fest, okay? It has to be a little bit of everything, because at its heart, a swing party is still a party. Whether you do anything or not, you should still enjoy the people that are there, the music, the food, the environment. That's the whole purpose of going there. And when you build a relationship with other people, you may not do anything this party. You may not do anything the next party. Hell, it might take some time, okay? Because that's the name of the game. It might, for you, take some time. But as you get comfortable with the group that you're with, and I'm suggesting a group, not random parties, because random parties, that pressure's gonna be there for a minute. But if you get comfortable with a good group, like for instance, Voluptuous Cafe, again, shameless plug, but I'm a member of their group, so I can speak from experience. If you join a reputable group, you get to know the people, because you always have a core set of regulars that come to events, and then you also have newbies. But as you get to know other people, they get to know you, and then guess what? They're not strangers anymore. They're comfortable partners and friends, and guess what? Before you know it, the fucking will commence, because there's nothing about them that's threatening when you know where they went for vacation, know what grocery store they like to go to, hear about other parties from them, find out what's attractive to them and what about you is attractive to them. I mean, you literally do get to socialize. And if you're involved in events or parties where that is not a big part of the evening, to a social part where you get to meet and greet with one another, you might want to rethink the events that you're attending. Not saying that all of them are bad, but it has been my experience that if there is no social time, which is a meet and greet, but if there's no social time for the party, then you really are just jumping in with strangers. And if there's no connection made with another person, that pressure that you're feeling and that you're putting yourself through is going to be hard to break yourself of. Now, I'm going to step back on that one, because my partners have a few more years on me in the life than I do. Not that I'm a newbie, but they do have a few more years on me, and I would like to get their perspective.
I want to agree that it takes time. I mean, it is a lot of pressure, number one, to be naked in front of a room full of people, whether you know them or not. Just being naked or scantily clad in a room full of people is pressure enough. And then to have to perform where everybody's talking, everybody's giggling, and you can't concentrate. You don't have a real connection with the person that you're about to have sex with, because, you know, you came to this party, you met them, y'all talked, and everything was cool. But, you know, a lot of times before you have sexual contact with someone, you have built up some type of rapport with them. Right. Even if it's just, you know, sending each other naughty pictures or sexy texts or whatever, you know, very, very rarely is it just, hey, I saw your email address, can I come over and fuck you?
Absolutely.
It happens, but it doesn't happen all that often.
Right.
And so a lot of times, you know, it takes a minute for you to get into a rapport where you feel comfortable enough with someone to have sex with them. You have to multiply that exponentially when you're in a room full of people. Because it does take something to be able to shout out all of that. And I know as swingers, we all laugh, we talk, we joke, we heckle each other when we really shouldn't, you know. folks are getting it in the bedroom, and we're like, oh, somebody's finally playing, and all that other stuff. Or is she ever getting off the bed? And we mean it lovingly. That's nothing, there's nothing bad about that. We think it's awesome. And we think it's so awesome, we laugh and joke about it and tease each other and all of this other stuff.
Right.
But we forget that there's people in the room who may not be as comfortable with the jokey while they're trying to get theirs.
Right.
And so, it takes a lot to overcome that and get beyond all of that.
Mm-hmm.
To put this simply, some people are not exhibitionists. It's that simple. You might just be the kind of person that, when it comes down to getting your business in, that you just need to have the privacy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody's an exhibitionist. Not everybody is a performance artist. It is what it is. So it might just happen to be a situation where you go there, you get all kinds of inspiration, you come back and you have her tell you about her various deeds, and you wax that ass good. It is what it is. But only where you're coming from this, whether or not is this a situation where you perform fine at home, it's just at parties, and that might just be an exhibition issue. If you're having problems in general, then yeah, you might need to check the physical, medical aspects of it. But feel free to follow up with us, and I'm sure we can try to get drill down a little bit more specifically.
Also, too, as far as Dark and Lovely was talking about the jokey. Now, yes, we do that, but now we will, full disclosure, a lot of times when that's going on, there are a lot of our repeat offenders, as I like to call them, that are in the room with us. Again, I have my own group, and Voluptuous Cafe is a group that I belong to as well. And a lot of people that go to one group go to another. We're so intermingled sometimes we just call each other, hey, are you doing something this weekend, just so we don't step on each other's toes. And also because, fuck it, I don't have to throw a party, I'll just go to theirs, okay? And have my people go to theirs, and they do the same thing. So we have a lot of people who commingle with both groups. We have newbies that are new to each group. But there are those occasions where we'll have a party and we'll look up, and about 80% of the people there are old heads, people we've partied with forever. So we can make certain comments around them because they'll make them on us too. But when we have parties that are like predominantly newbies, we kind of check ourselves on that, because as Dark and Lovely said, just because she might say something about, my ass being up in the air for the whole night.
Woke them up.
Hey, somebody else in the room might be a little put off by that comment. So I don't want you to think that, we're hecklers or we comment at every party or something like that. No. It's the same as if you were hanging out with a bunch of your friends, and the majority of people you were hanging out with were people you've known for years. You tend to say things in front of them that you wouldn't say at, say, your boys' soccer practice, right, where you hardly know anybody there. So we just want you to know that that's kind of the way we keep it. Okay, I'm trying to see, are we coming up on a break?
Yeah, we should be.
Did you have another?
Yep. We'll see you back in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, sweetness. You are with the Nice and Naughty Hour. I'm your hostess, the Naughty Scribe, and I'm joined again by my ride or die partners, Miss Dark and Lovely and the Freaky One himself. So I want to kind of wrap up on the viewer letters. I have another one that I wanted us to address. This one is from James. Hi, James. He's my new buddy. James wrote, we live in Norfolk, Virginia, have seen several episodes of your show and find it to be very informative. Aw, kissing up to me always works. We have attended several parties, all out of state because of my job. I have found a male on my job that I would like to present to hubby so we can have a threesome we have always talked about and thought about. Usually he is pretty liberal. Should I wait until he finds a third for our threesome, or do I present him with my choice? Any and all assistance would be greatly appreciated. Now, on this one, we kind of had a sidebar, and I kind of liked what Freaky One was saying about this, so I'm going to kick this one over to him.
Yes, I think you should tell him that you have an alternative I think that you should say, this is somebody that I'm considering. I'd like for you to meet him, give me your thoughts, so forth and so on. It should be something that you guys discuss together from start to finish. So, yeah, I'm sure that you're probably trying to make it so that he could pick somebody, maybe go first so he feels comfortable, which is cool. But that doesn't mean that in the meantime, while y'all waiting for that to happen, that you cannot discuss your options as well. That doesn't have to mean that any particular order has to be, just because you came first, yours has got to go first or anything like that. It's what you guys decide. But waiting on how to present information and things like that usually ends up with situations where something slips before you got a chance to tell them, and now it looks like you're shady or just straightforward. This is what it is. I've got somebody that I'm thinking about. Want you to meet him. Let's go to dinner. Whatever it is that you guys, however you decide to do it. That way, it gives an opportunity to start feeling comfortable with the situation as you work towards it. I hope that helps. And if you need me to address it some more, I'd be more than happy to do so. But
right, and I think that was a great point to make, because my thinking also was, and this comes from conversations we've had before about someone near and dear to us who has a tendency to do this. Just because you are physically attracted to this person that you want to bring into your threesome that you and your lover have talked about, one does not necessarily mean that your lover is going to be attracted to this person. And I don't necessarily just mean physically, because physical does have a lot to do with it too. But you could be like the bomb to look at and be fucked up as far as personality is concerned. And I'm going to tell you something. Personality can shoot down threesome quick, fast, in a hurry.
Beauty is skin deep. Ugly goes all the way to the bone.
Oh, and then some, okay? So, first of all, you need to make sure that once you've brought this information to your lover or your partner, that you spend some time, again, we're going to get back to the social issue, spend some time getting to know each other, finding out what some of your hot spots are, your do's and don'ts, but spend some time with each other. Don't just say, oh, hey, this person's willing, let's all get into bed and start sucking and fucking. You're going to have, that's a recipe for disaster, okay? And then also make sure, as Freaky One said, that you're very open and honest with your partner and lover in the beginning and say, hey, look, boo, there's someone that I'm interested in. I think that would be great in a threesome. How do you feel about meeting this person? There is no particular order unless you guys have already decided on that. There is no particular order it comes. If you just happen to meet someone that you think would be great for it, go for it. Now, my personal preference, and I'm just sharing this with you because it's my show and I can do that shit, but my personal preference, stop it. My personal preference is not somebody on a job. And that's not just for threesome, one some, whatever. I personally have an issue with that because, not me, but I have seen too many times where things that go on after work have a tendency to show up on the job. And if you are not open, as myself and my partners are, in which case we don't give a fuck, because not only do we not hide it, we damn near tell everybody about it, we put it on the show. So, and if you really fuck it up, we're going to definitely put it on the show. Names might be changed to protect the innocent.
We tend to change names and keep them kind of quiet.
That's true. That's true. I'm just being naughty, but
you won't be hearing it from me.
Okay, but I'm just saying that sometimes bringing something to the job, especially if it's something adventurous and depending on your workplace, might not be a good idea. I'm just saying, if you work for, say, Christian daycare, you may not want the deacon to know that you and the organ player are, doing more with organs. I'm just saying.
Playing hopscotch.
Hey, hitting high C's, whatever, okay? So don't bring any extra drama into your relationship either.
Right. There's a saying that say you don't shit where you eat. So.
I love it.
There is something that
be like a dog, don't shit where you sleep.
Oftentimes ignore that. I've had relationships with guys that I work with.
Yeah, but we're
and then
kinda
sometimes
unique
I've
in that
actually
area.
had, guys that I had relationships with come to work at the same place I'm working because, I submitted their resume. I'm like, hey, it's good and bad. He probably can work it here. I don't know.
We know he has some skills. Okay,
Yeah,
let's just put it that
I can't
way.
speak to this, but no.
So with that said, again, if you have any follow-up, if there's a specific question that we haven't answered for anyone we've touched on today, whether it be James or Night Spirit or anyone else, feel free to hit us up. Our contact information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We do reply back.